Welcome to the VET S.O.S. Veteran Entrepreneur Spotlight. Remember, don't drown the sea of transition. Grab the VET S.O.S. Lifeline. The Veteran Entrepreneur Spotlight is sponsored by Spearpoint Solutions. Spearpoint Solutions is a one-stop shop for leading-edge products, services, and training from multiple vendors. From AI training to corporate gifts and much more, they have everything you need to help you organize, thrive in the modern economy. You can check out all the valuable offerings at spearpointonline.com. And remember to use the code VET S.O.S. on anything you purchase there. That will help us continue our mission of improving the lives of those who have served. Today, we're sitting down with Matthew Schneider, founder, owner of RemedyGuard. Matthew is a service-disabled Air Force veteran who deployed in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom. After returning home, he used a GI Bill to obtain a BS in computer science from Southern Oregon University. From there, he spent 7 years helping entrepreneurs and small business owners navigate the complexities of e-commerce fulfillment as the IT manager for an award-winning logistics company in Jacksonville, Florida. In September 2021, he seized the opportunity to start RemedyGuard to tackle the issues of unaffordable medication storage. How you doing today, Matthew?
I'm doing wonderful, Shawn. It's great to see you again. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. I love your product. I'm so glad that you're on here to talk about it again. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and start with your transition real quick. You know, how did that go for you? Because that is the heart and soul of the VET S.O.S. podcast.
Absolutely. So, I got out almost 20 years ago now. 20 years. This year actually marks 20 years since my second tour in Iraq. So, it's like a big anniversary for me. And when I got out, it was a lot of just, hey, take advantage of your employer's 401k, use the GI Bill if you can. But there were not a lot of institutions out there like the Institute for Veterans and Military Families, numerous, or it just did not exist. And so, I was kind of left to my own devices to figure things out as far as life and all that goes. And so I would just tell anybody to look at those resources, get in touch with people. Like 25% of transitioning service members say that they're interested in entrepreneurship, but only 5% actually go on to start their own thing. And it's like, where's that breakdown? What's going on with that 20%? That's a significant number given a little over 200,000 folks separate every year.
You're absolutely right. And that's one of the reasons we wanted to start this branch of the podcast was, to help people understand how that entrepreneurial journey goes, because there's definitely a lot of things that go into it. There's highs, there's lows, and so many resources available. So what was it specifically that led you to want to be an entrepreneur?
It was kind of in my blood a bit. My mom tried to start a restaurant. It didn't open. She didn't have a team. She tried to go at it alone. Unfortunately, we had to file for bankruptcy and didn't really recover from that. But in it, I went out and I would mow lawns and do whatever, just to make a dime, make a nickel, like whatever. It didn't matter. I almost failed a class in high school because I got a little too entrepreneurial. Like every year they had like a little school fair thing, and you do a little group and come up with stuff. And we're like, yeah, coffee and cookies, but a little espresso machine and my grandma's chocolate chip cookies. At the time, I looked it up and like caffeine was classified as a narcotic. So I made all these posters that said cheap legal narcotics, get it at your school fair. The vice principal was not happy with me about that. And he went through the school, tore down all the posters, and went to my teacher and was like, you need to fail this kid. So, and it kind of, was like, okay, I'm going to set that down. I'm going to get in trouble. Join the Air Force. Went off, did that. And then before I got my bachelor's in computer science, I looked into being a massage therapist, and you have to be very entrepreneurial. Like after you get out, either you get attached to a spa or you go at it alone and, do all that. And at the time with, the economic downturn in 2008, it was like, okay, well, nobody can afford to get a massage anyway, and I can't figure this stuff out. And again, like I didn't know about any of these organizations that exist to help entrepreneur. So I mean, it's like, even if somebody wants to just go and be their own massage therapist, there are programs that are out there that can help them do that. So did that, and then getting my bachelor's in computer science, that opened the door to doing the back end of shopping carts. So that kind of exposed me a little bit to e-commerce and like how that functions from a tech level. I mean, e-commerce, like it, bare bones programming stuff, and then getting picked up to be e-commerce web administrator, which is just code for we need an IT guy, we don't know what we're doing, and just grew into that role and learning everything that there was to learn about all that, like constant new companies coming in, sitting at the board saying, okay, this is what we're doing, this is what we're trying to, and just being exposed to that for 7 years, you kind of pick a thing or two. And for me, it's about solving a problem. Some folks, it's funny, you can ask 10 people what is the definition of entrepreneurship, and you're going to get 10 different answers. It's always like the book answer, but it means so many different things to so many different people. And for me, it's like doing whatever I need to do to solve this however I can.
Mm-hmm. No, so, that's a great way to look at it.
Kind of how I see all that.
Yeah. So what's been the best and what's been the worst part of being an entrepreneur?
Oh, best thing for me is like getting that purpose back. For the longest time, it was like sort of a going through life sort of thing. When I was able to start my own thing and get even more involved with what was going on, it just reignited purpose, a new passion in me to really try to do things my way, to come at this correctly, because there's this huge intersection between the substance use disorder, the stigma that's been out there, and trying to let folks know that this is just a matter of being responsible, and making sure that kids don't get into things.
Yeah.
Just basic, no stigma, no judgment, lock up whatever it is that you have in your home that needs to get locked up or on the go. There's stuff for that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. So, have you, or did you use any entrepreneurial programs to help you, learn, train, anything like that, to succeed as an entrepreneur?
Absolutely. So started the company September of 21 and didn't start linking up with any of those organizations until February of 23. So January of 23, last year, I was like, hello world, let's do business. I've gotten myself from, that history, that knowledge. I was able to get myself to a point, and then said, hello world. And based on the response from that, I was like, ooh, I need to learn more to do better, to for my customers to accomplish what I'm trying to do. So let's see what's out there and available. And that's when I learned little event, the Military Entrepreneurship Forum, hosted by the Institute for Veterans and Military Families. They do those around the country, but there was one here, got linked up, started, hearing about all the different organizations that were out there. And so last year, there's Warrior Rising. They have the Warrior Academy. I did that virtual. It was, just quick through that gave me a refresh of tactical vantage points, your places to go, where you need to meet up with your next people. And so went through, did that, got to an event that then, pushed me even further. At the same time, I applied for the Entrepreneurship Bootcamp for Veterans program through the IVMF. Got accepted to that, went through that June through late July. Because that's it's like a month-long hybrid where you do like 3 months virtual and then a week at wherever you were. For me, it was up in Syracuse. And it's like drinking out of a fire hose. They throw like everything at you, from early formations to, you might be a CEO with a 16-year company, and there's something for you within just that. And then there's other offshoot programs at, just different levels for different folks. Like they have VET, which is, more women-centric. There's the Breaking Barriers program, which is for minorities. A lot of different resources that are out there now that definitely did not exist, when I was getting out. So it's definitely important to let people know about that stuff.
Absolutely.
Did that local here at Jacksonville. The Jacksonville Chamber of Commerce has the Jax Bridges Program. And that's like a 3-month process.
Oh, wow.
Or program, which it's like that EBV, where they cover like everything, but it gives you time to digest it.
Nice.
And then Action Zone, which they're out of Tampa. I lucked out because they were doing a virtual cohort, which was like the first time they were doing it. So I was able to get in on that, which then led me to a pitch with the Veterans Florida Battle of the Pitches.
Oh, nice.
I think that was in April over in Tampa. That was awesome.
Cool.
Didn't place, but there were just super strong contestants, like,
oh yeah,
really, really amazing things going on out there. And that's something that I have seen when, in doing this, is like the veterans have they're pretty mission focused when it comes to stuff. And I'm not knocking civilians at all in any way, shape, or form, but a lot of it is like, oh, I just want to do what I've been exposed to, kind of like a general services kind of thing, or whatever. And it's just that's just like what they want to do. But a lot of vets think big and big problem solving kind of things.
Oh yeah.
And so it's really awesome getting linked up in those communities and just seeing what everyone else is doing. And
that's great.
It is awesome.
That's great, man. So many great programs you listed there. So I'm glad to see that you did those. So we're already coming down to the end. These are going to go quick. Tell us real quick about RemedyGuard, so everybody knows what you're doing.
Absolutely. So I sell medication lock boxes and locking bags at wholesale to organizations that either give it away for free through community outreach events or make them available affordably. And it's just so that people, adults, have something to lock up their things with in a very general fashion. So drug-free community coalitions and those organizations, they say, hey, mom, dad, let's meet at the rec center, the high school, what have you. Got some information about things that are going on in our community, whether it's like a spike in like the fentanyl exposure, that kind of thing, or hey, you need car seats or smoke alarms. Like it's just this public safety realm, and they just need support. They need community partners that will help get that message out. Like, hey, this isn't a stigma-inducing thing. Those programs have shifted, moved away, and it's all about providing people with tools, education, and making good choices and having a little bit of hope that there is something being done to address things.
That's awesome. I love what you're doing, man. I think it's great for the community, and I appreciate you coming on here to share your story with us and help our audience with their entrepreneurial journey, teaching them a few lessons here.
Absolutely. So, don't go at it alone. Just get linked up. They're out there.
There you go. We want to thank Matthew for joining us on VET S.O.S today. On behalf of the VET S.O.S family, we'd like to thank everyone for joining us. Please check us out on your favorite podcast platforms, on social media, YouTube. We're out there everywhere. Please follow us and subscribe. And remember, don't drown the sea of transition. Grab the VET S.O.S lifeline.